My poetry playlist is titled Nature's Gifts. It is a collection of poems that focuses on appreciating the beauty of nature. After the first poem, which introduces the theme, the sequence of poems follows the seasons, beginning with fall and moving through winter, spring, and summer. The first poem, Summons, by Robert Francis, captures the wonder that comes from discovering something magical in nature. Notice that the poem's use of the second-person point of view reflects the title of the poem, Summons, and invites you to join in. It is implied that the speaker is already discovering the surprises that nature offers. Keep me from going to sleep too soon. Or if I go to sleep too soon, come wake me up. Come any hour of night. Come whistling up the road, stomp on the porch, bang on the door. Make me get out of bed and come and let you in and light a light. Tell me the northern lights are on, and make me look. Or tell me clouds are doing something to the moon they never did before, and show me. See that I see. Talk to me till I'm half as wide awake as you and start to dress, wondering why I ever went to bed at all. Tell me the walking is superb. Not only tell me, but persuade me. You know I'm not too hard persuaded. In the second poem, The Wild Swans at Coole, by William Butler Yeats, the speaker appreciates the unspoiled beauty of the swans he sees. Unlike the speaker, the swans are not world-weary, but still have enthusiasm for life. Notice how the poem's tone of wonder and admiration is expressed through the use of romanticized language, such as water mirrors a still sky, and their hearts have not grown old. The trees are in their autumn beauty, the woodland paths are dry. Under the October twilight the water mirrors a still sky. Upon the brimming water among the stones are 59 swans. The 19th autumn has come upon me since I first made my count. I saw, before I had well finished, all suddenly mount and scatter, wheeling in great broken rings, upon their clamorous wings. I have looked upon these brilliant creatures, and now my heart is sore. All's changed since I, hearing at twilight the first time on this shore the bell beat of their wings above my head, trod with a lighter tread. Unwearied still, lover by lover, they paddle in the cold, companionable streams, or climb the air. Their hearts have not grown old. Passion or conquest wander where they will, attend upon them still. But now they drift on the still water, mysterious, beautiful. Among what rushes will they build, by what lake's edge or pool, delight men's eyes, when I awake some day to find they have flown away? The third poem, Fall, by Sally Anderson, captures one moment in late fall that seems commonplace, yet significant. Notice how the third line uses a metaphor to add a more profound dimension to geese flying south. Fall, by Sally Anderson. The geese flying south, in a row long and V-shaped, pulling in winter. The fourth poem, Two Lives and Others, by Winfield Townley Scott, draws readers' attention to the many things to notice on a walk in late autumn. Notice how the speaker uses active verbs to describe nature, such as maples skimming, oaks spat, and we honored a faded robin. This contrasts with the passive language, lack of verbs, used to describe the old man inside his house, who is oblivious to the busyness of the outside world. Beyond the field, where crows cawed at a hawk, the road bent down between oaks, pines, and maples skimming the air with terracotta. The oaks spat acorns over scurries of squirrels. Moss crunched stiff underfoot, and overhead the sky was gradually freezing right across blue. We hurried our walk through shadows, yet it was a noticeable sort of afternoon. We honored a faded robin, and considered the importance of the color gray on blue jays. A woodchuck, all an urgent clumsiness, made his tumbling run. Then he saw us, plunged, hid, and screamed his whistle of fear. Round the next bend to twilight we went past a solitary house, one room lamp-lighted, an old man at supper alone, facing the wall. If he was aware of us, he gave no sign. We circled home that last day before snow. The fifth poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. This famous poem praises the act of stopping during one's busy life to appreciate the beauty of nature. Notice that out of 16 lines, only one refers to the object of the speaker's admiration. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. The woods are so enchanting that the speaker is compelled to stop. The bulk of the poem discusses the unusualness of stopping and the speaker's reluctance to continue on his journey. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. The sixth poem, Dust of Snow, also by Robert Frost, describes how a brief encounter with nature changed the speaker's feelings toward the day. Notice how the simplicity of the language, nearly all of the words are one syllable, mirrors the simplicity of the moment that the speaker recalls. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. In the seventh poem, It is a Beauteous Evening by William Wordsworth, the speaker talks about the gentle sacred beauty at evening when the sun sets. Notice how the use of religious language emphasizes the sacred feeling the speaker has towards the evening. Listen for the words holy, none, adoration, heaven, and divine. The poem infers that nature and religion are interconnected for the speaker. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. The holy time is quiet as a nun, breathless with adoration. The broad sun is sinking down in its tranquility. The gentleness of heaven broods o'er the sea. Listen, the mighty being is awake, and doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder, everlastingly. Dear child, dear girl, that walkest with me here, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought, thy nature is not therefore less divine. Thou liest in Abraham's bosom all the year, and worshipest at the temple's inner shrine, God being with thee when we know it not. In the eighth poem, Four Ducks on a Pond by William Allingham, the speaker recalls how affected he was by the beauty of a quiet scene in nature in the spring. The last two lines both start with, to remember. Notice how each adds a layer of emotional depth to the poem. Four ducks on a pond, a grass bank beyond, a blue sky of spring, white clouds on the wing. What a little thing to remember for years. to remember with tears. The ninth poem, When I Heard the Learned Astronomer, by Walt Whitman, highlights the difference between learning about nature in a formal setting and experiencing the wonder of nature for oneself. This poem, although composed of 8 lines, is 1 sentence long. Notice how the line's incomplete feeling, which propels the poem relentlessly forward to the end of the sentence, mirrors the speaker's frustration building up to the last line when he finds peace. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures, were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I, sitting, heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. The 10th and final poem, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth, illustrates how nature's beauty can comfort us when we're lonely. Notice the words used to describe the joy of the moment, such as dancing, shine, glee, and bliss. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils.